What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. This week we've got Lackey Grand Prix number 7, round 3, which is against Zach Gilbaugh, who I gotta give props to because he started out in round 1 playing Josh Potratz, and then in round 2, or he beat Josh, which means that round 2 he got paired up against Red Dragon Thorn, or John Early, and then round 3 he ended up getting paired against me, and that's just it's like, you kind of hope that the first few rounds you maybe get a few, easier, or at least, like equal accomplishment opponents, I guess. But he ended up going against three players who have won Type 1 2 player at Nationals within the last 4 years. Or let's see, John was in 2019, Josh was in 2021, and I won in 2022. So definitely not an easy schedule starting off in this Grand Prix for Zach, but he's hung in there. He beat at least the first two, and I won't spoil the ending of this game for you guys, but I'm impressed. And I mean, I knew that he was a good player before this tournament, but props to him. I do think that his deck it seemed particularly good for this, one territory class format. I mean, even outside of it, still, decent, or could probably hang in there with a deck that's built for territory class, all the shenanigans. So, yeah, props to him. And what did I bring to this deck in order to, combat this? I guess, because I knew, I mean, he beat Josh and he beat John, and I was like, all right, well, I better get something good together. And I kind of was playing around with a few different ideas in my head. I started building a couple different decks. One of them being a Daniel deck. So I was like, Daniel seems like he's pretty good in this, format, and not just like one territory class part of it, but just in general with the GOC still being fresh on everyone's defensive palettes. I mean, offense as well, but a lot of the defenses we're seeing currently are Thieves and Herods, and a little bit of Sadducees, various New Testament stuff, which means that a lot of their enhancements are going to be New Testament. And Daniel is just kind of a beast against New Testament defenses, or at least ones that have New Testament enhancements, because not only does he negate fortresses and evil characters, but he negates New Testament enhancements. So a lot of the evil characters cannot be prevented, which is a little bit annoying for Daniel. But most of the enhancements can be prevented. Some of them, I guess, cannot be negated, like Herod's Banquet and Ambush, but those are pretty much the only ones in the new set. Golgotha is a little bit of a problem because it makes enhancements cannot be negated, but overall, I think a Daniel deck or like a Daniel offense is pretty well suited against some of the defenses that we're seeing these days, especially with Michael in there to toss all the multi-brigade stuff too. But the I don't know, just didn't quite feel like it would have the punch that I thought I needed, or kind of like it's strong, but there are still ways to block it, and ways to or lots of there are enough answers, I guess, where it just makes it a little bit risky to just rely on a big band that's protected and tossing multi-brigade enhancements and negating evil characters and New Testament enhancements. It sounds good. It probably is good, but it just kind of felt a little bit too risky for me. So I decided to find a different deck that I could fit Daniel into. And it felt like it just made sense to do Infinidab, because that's what John was playing against Zach when he lost. And so then I felt like I kind of had to, redeem the deck. I got to be like, all right, John, here's how you build it. Here's how you play it. Some of you may have seen their game live on John's Twitch channel, and it's not up anymore. And I was a little disappointed because I forgot to go back and watch the rest of it. I caught a little bit of it when they were doing it live, but I was like, oh, I gotta study up on Zach's deck, and then I forgot to come back and watch it until like the day of, and then it had already disappeared. So that was a little bit disappointing, because especially if I was going to be playing, the same deck that John was using roughly. I was like, okay, I got to know what happened here, but that's all right. We found a build that I like, and I think was I think got to the point more so than maybe John's build. I saw a little bit of it, and I thought that he was maybe a little more into the Ruth aspect than I like to build with this whole concept. I just want to make sure that I'm getting to David, I'm getting Aminadab and Isaiah as early as possible, getting Marriage Covenant going, and hopefully, shuffling Marriage Covenant back in at least once with Noah. Although honestly, I don't know that the deck necessarily needs Noah in order to like keep it going. Like I think maybe one use on Marriage Covenant might be all you need, especially if you're also running Angel of the Lord, which I had a hard time not running with David in the deck. I feel like it's just it just feels really bad when you're going in with David, you don't have any enhancements in hand, and you're just like, all right, well, I can go and grab something from the deck at least, and you want to be able to find Angel of the Lord just to have that ready for you. I mean, there are some enhancements that are good, like Royal Parade, and Your God Will Be My God, and of course Marriage Covenant, but just having Angel of the Lord there ready to go, I think is ideal. And so if you're using David, I would suggest putting Angel of the Lord in there. Make sure it's the Old Testament one though. Uh, and so that's where I kind of started off with, David, Aminadab, Isaiah, Noah, and then I wanted to include Daniel as well because he just fit the colors, and then banning him in off of a banning chain, like even if you don't have Aminadab to bounce their character, I mean, maybe they have multiple characters, you can ban in Daniel to negate the one that banned it in the other one, and then use Aminadab to bounce the other one, something like that. Or if you just have a ban where Daniel's in there and negating their enhancements, that seems pretty good too. Not using any New Testament enhancements other than the Emmaus Road, which hopefully we're not playing in battle, but I guess with one territory class we might end up doing that, especially since I've got numerous as the stars in here, which I want to use in territory most often, and that's basically just going to make sure that I get to my heroes that I need as soon as possible. I've got a few different ways to David, including Elimelech and then Land of Moab. I considered Angel of the Winds, but it didn't quite end up making the cut. I think maybe it could have, but like maybe in Ruth's spot it could have been okay, but I do like the extra way to make Ruth enhancement CBN, so like Marriage Covenant, if I mean, I guess it would have been CBN on Ruth if she's meek anyway, but just having another character that I could play it on, and then also making Your God Will Be My God CBN can be pretty good too if someone's running demons with like King of Tyrus or Red Dragon. Your God Will Be My God is a good answer to those. And then also in reserve, having Light in the Darkness as kind of a backup plan to use on David, and then be able to recycle it is pretty good. Or use it on Isaiah because he makes it CBN, which is pretty good. He also makes Gathered Together CBN, which is kind of the alternative for getting the band together. If you, use Isaiah, maybe play Emmaus Road in prep phase to grab Gathered Together from reserve, and then you can go with Isaiah instead of David, and then you just have to ban an Aminadab and bounce their evil character. And then of course we've got Jesse and Obed to have some counters for the opponent's nonsense, make sure that we can limit them from getting too much of an advantage or anything. Hannah is a great hero to start out with if you don't have all the pieces you need right away. Maybe just go to Hannah and get some drawing done. So even if you don't get the rescue, then you can still get some card advantage. Or she's like more beneficially, I guess, you can band her in alongside the Isaiah and Aminadab with Marriage Covenant. You bounce their evil character, maybe it's the Foreign Wives or something, or probably won't be bouncing it because they probably won't block with it unless she's protected, but still, you can bounce their evil character, and then you reveal their hand with Hannah, and you're probably going to get at least one evil brigade. And get to draw some cards, probably more than that even. Similarly, even if or if we don't have Isaiah, or maybe if we do and they just have like banning evil characters or something, you can use Elijah to choose a non-banning evil character and then play Gathered Together if that gives you initiative. And then lastly, in the reserve for offense, I've got the Lord Goes Before You and You Will Remain as two enhancements that involve music and are just, I mean, You Will Remain I think is good for battle extension right now with cards like Futile Inquisition and Unsuccessful floating around a lot. You Will Remain is kind of nice to have as a backup option, and I guess it's important to note here that the artifact rule or the limit for one artifact activation per turn was no longer in effect for the remainder of the tournament as of this round, and so I would still be able to use David's Harp activated on David to grab You Will Remain from reserve, and then I could activate You Will Remain in my artifact pile. Um, so yeah, no restriction on how many artifacts you can activate per turn in this one, which is part of the reason why I have Delivered in here, because you can activate, you know, multiple artifacts, and then it fits fairly well with the defense being in, you know, Gold Brigade, and then the offense, most of, or well, a few of the heroes can play it. All the green ones over here can play it. So usually it's going to have someone that you can play it on fairly, you know, easily, and then you can activate multiple artifacts. So I can, you know, activate David's Harp to grab something like Royal Parade or something on, you know, first turn, and then I can play Delivered to activate Book of the Law, or, you know, whatever. Um, it just seemed like it was a good enough fit, especially because the offense relies a lot on getting Infinidab to bounce their evil character in battle. Then I can activate the Great White Throne to banish an evil card in a discard pile to search deck for a hero. That's kind of nice. Another way to get to my the heroes that we need. But the big part is at any time you can discard an evil card in territory to force opponent to withdraw all but one evil character. So if they abandon with a big chain, you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to discard this evil card here and force you to withdraw all but one of them, and then I will use initiative that David pretty much always has to play Marriage Covenant and band in Infinidab, Isaiah, Infinidab being CBN because of Isaiah, and then bouncing the evil character. In case you haven't seen any of my previous Infinidab videos, that's pretty much the whole deal. Originally it was Isaiah Dab, but then it became Infinidab when Noah was introduced and can just shuffle Marriage Covenant back in to do it. Yeah, many, many times over and over again, as many times as you need to get to 5. Great White Throne is kind of a fun inclusion, in part because it also synergizes well with part of like a little combo that has been brought up on the Discord recently. I think Josh Potratz was the first person to bring it up, but he gave credit to Jake or Ager the Wise for the idea of using Remnant Lost Soul to take your opponent's character, using the Thief to discard their character to take another one of their characters, and then you can underdeck Remnant with Sheol, and then you can get Remnant back out with Kingdoms of the World and just kind of cycle it through and pick off some of their characters, especially the most important ones. You can do a similar thing with the Great White Throne, except you don't have to use the Thief, which is kind of nice. You can do it at any time. So if I draw Remnant, goes in my territory, I can take one of your evil characters. I can just right away use the Great White Throne to discard that evil character, even if there are no characters in battle. You have to force all but one evil character to withdraw from battle. If there are none, then, you know, you just do nothing, but you can still pay the cost of discarding an evil card in territory. Then say you use a search ability, then I can Sheol away the Remnant and you know, get it back out with Kingdoms of this World, or Kingdoms of the World, or Harvest Time here, which I figured was good enough to include if I'm using Remnant, and also, I mean, just some of the other dominants or Lost Souls that are nice to kind of surprise your opponent with, such as Forsaken, also Complacent, or maybe Humble if they're attacking with, you know, say a Daniel, and I don't want my enhancements to be negated. You can just Harvest Time out a Humble, and it'll make your enhancement CBP for that battle as long as you don't have hand advantage. So, or I guess as long as your opponent has hand advantage, to be specific. If it's a tie, then it still doesn't work. So, Also, Galileans is nice to get out to get the right evil card to block with. Dull, can be kind of nice, although you can't really surprise your opponent with it that much because you'd have to do it before they attack, or I guess they could use a search, draw, or reveal during look, reveal, or search, like with an enhancement or something, but you can't play it while their hero abilities are resolving or anything like that. Anyways, that is pretty much that. I feel like Storehouse is pretty important in the current meta, especially if you're running OT enhancements in reserve. It can be helpful, but keeping yourself protected from thieves and all that, all the shenanigans there is quite nice. And they've got some dual alignment enhancements that worked well with white and gold, and so I put Reprimand Repercussion in here just because it's pretty flexible. You can use it on either side. And then also Fourth Bowl of Wrath I thought was kind of a nice include. Just kind of worked out that you can play it on both sides in most cases, because most of the time I'm going to be attacking with David. I'm going to get initiative, and Fourth Bowl of Wrath is a really good enhancement to play when you have initiative, even if you're passing initiative, because you can play it, and one of the best tricks or whatever that you can do with it, I guess, is to banish an evil human in their territory and then grab an evil card from their hand. So, I mean, say that they're just waiting for you to play your battle winner and then they're going to drop 3 woes. Well, you could just play Fourth Bowl of Wrath, hit one of their evil characters in territory, banish their 3 woes, and then you can play whatever, other battle winner like Royal Parade or something that you need in order to stop them. So, it's a pretty sweet card on offense, and then on defense, it's just a nice negate that works well with big Herods that are protected and whatnot, or choosing heroes that only have 1 enhancement to play or something like that. So the defense is fairly standard small Herods defense, I think. I'm not getting too crazy with having all of the Herods and having all of the support pieces, or like even Herodias. She didn't end up making the cut, even though it is kind of nice to restrict your opponent's reserve access. But I just kind of went with the what's most likely to get me blocks, I guess. And so Herod the Great, of course, is pretty good. Didn't have room for Herod's Temple in here, especially because none of the artifacts that I have here can be put in Herod's Temple. I think if I did have an artifact that could be activated there, then I would include it, but I think he's still good enough just with the choose the rescuer portion. Herod Philip II, he might be the one to cut in here for like Herod Agrippa, get that extra protect option. It's hard to pass up that draw, but usually in this kind of defense, he's only drawing 1, maybe 2, because I'm not going to have, I've only got 3 Herods in the main deck, 1 in reserve, but getting them all out early isn't necessarily what you want, or I mean it can be nice, but it also puts them a lot at risk. So you want to keep as many of them in your hand as you can. Outsiders is just a good card advantage piece, and if you get behind, then you can start underdecking some stuff. Rhodesi's Daughter, because she, is free value just with the exchange portion and hitting stuff in their territory, but then also grabbing Dance of Death from reserve. I thought it would be kind of nice just to try that out. I haven't really done a whole lot with Herodes' Daughter, but I know other people have used her with Herod defenses, so I figured I'd give her a shot. And Herod's Guard, I think also everybody knows what he does and why he's in there. If you've had any experience with Herod defenses, either playing with them or against them. And Deceiver to go get whoever we need, probably Herod's Guard in most cases, but then also go to reserve for someone like Executioner, which we've got a few pretty good weapons in reserve for Executioner, especially Foreign Horses to get that play first. And it's even better if you can use Antipas to play Rome Destroy Jerusalem or something like that, because it's regardless of protection, and of course we're not playing any New Testament heroes here. We are playing 2 fortresses that get hit by it with Storehouse and Kingdoms, which is a little bit risky, but I think if we're playing Rome Destroy Jerusalem, then it probably means that opponent is getting hurt by it more than I am, or at least I'm getting a block, hopefully. So, a few of just the best of the Herod enhancements in the main deck. No, Massacre of Innocence, even Contagious Fear didn't quite make the cut, just because I don't have that many evil characters, and so kind of giving up one of them is a little bit risky. I could see an argument for Contagious Fear being in reserve instead of Dance of Death, because it's a nice target for Herod Antipass, especially because you can grab him right back out with Clinging to Power, and it's also a nice target for Duplicity because you still get the draw on Duplicity, whereas if you play Duplicity into Futile Inquisition or something, then the battle just ends and you don't get the draw. Not that I'm really planning to draw that much with that ability in this deck, because of course I'm not playing Meek Lost Souls, but a lot of people are playing Harvest right now, which means that Duplicity might get a draw one a good amount of the time. So that is pretty much the deck, and I will say you should be proud of me. I got it down to 57 cards, not 58 like it has been the last time I was building decks of this. Last few times I've built decks of this size. It probably helps that I'm a little bit more familiar with this deck, and or at least the offense and what I wanted to accomplish, and the cards that are necessary. And I even got a hopper in here too. Look at that. So 57 cards in a hopper. I feel like that should make up for at least one of the times that I played it at 58. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the game with Zach. I do want to mention a couple of things before getting started. I believe it's on turn 3. It's on turn 3 if I went first, which I'm pretty sure I did. Where I draw my cards, and then for some reason the video just cuts out. Like it says gave me a message that the encoder failed or something like that. And so once I realized that, I restarted it, but I had already gone into battle. I attacked with Hannah. I got to draw a few cards, and got to see Zach's hand, which unfortunately you guys won't get to see all of. I mean, you'll get to see some of it when he blocks, but I did not know exactly where it left off, and so I wasn't sure if I caught his hand or not, so we didn't really think to make a note about that. But it was a pretty short time where it was just, I don't think I did anything in my prep phase. I think I just drew my 3 and then went right into battle with Hannah. So that should explain that. Hopefully, I mean, there's going to be just a little bit of jump in time, for no apparent reason. The second thing is that later in the game, there's a kind of a ruling discrepancy. I mean, like, not something that we had a ruling question on, but just something that we realized afterwards we probably should have played a little bit differently. I'm going to interrupt the video at that point. I will be coming in this form with this shirt and everything, except I'm going to be a little bit bigger. I'll just full screen it, and I'll just talk a little bit about what we did and what happened and what we should have done, and then also, I mean, it's something that's a little bit bigger than simply like just text on the screen like I normally do when there's a little bit of a little clarification to make. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that so that you're not surprised when I just like big Jaden on the screen. So all right, let's hear a little word from Your Turn Games, our sponsor here on the channel, and we'll just get into the game. This video is sponsored by Your Turn Games, a retailer of Redemption CCG with various products, such as singles, sealed product, and great deals on bundles like battle boxes and grab bags. They also have pre-built decks, such as Challenger decks in the $55 range, Contender decks in the $80 to $95 range, and Champion decks in the "this deck just placed at Nationals last year" range. They also have card supplies to keep you caught up on all of your gaming needs, and at no cost to you, they have Redemption resources such as the latest Redemption news, rules, tournaments that are coming up, and Redemption content such as this. So head on over to yourturngames.biz today, and a big thank you to them for supporting this content. Let's do it. Of course, there it is. Every time.
Remnant first turn every time.
It's got to be the lightest lost soul in the game, so it just always floats at the top.
Yeah. Zach and Exiles.
Okay. I rolled a 4. He rolled a 3. Got the crowds. I think I will choose to go first. And I've got no stars I want to use.
Okay. I think I will just use one here.
Seems good.
I will not underdeck Virgin Verse. I'll just keep it in my hand.
Wow. Don't see that every day.
Nope.
I will whiff my remnant and your crowns is on. So, okay, now I've got an important decision to make. Crowd's making things difficult already. Let's just try going right into battle here. And I will make a rescue with Noah. And I will convert him to Meek to prevent cards.
It is very unfortunate for me.
Well, that's good. That's what I like to hear.
Sure. I'll do this one.
Sweet. Suppose just in case I should get some brigades out of my hand here, so I will play Covenant with David and play a Side Dragoon Fortress for my deck. Actually, I suppose that's probably the best option. Yeah. Let's go with Storehouse.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. And then I will pass the turn.
I'll draw 3. I will not use any stars. Play down a Martha, which is doing a whole lot. I will.
Approving of my decision to grab Storehouse.
Yep. For my 1 territory class, I'll play Virgin Birth.
Yeah, I figured if you were keeping Virgin Birth, it must mean you have a female hero in your hand.
Yeah, the choice is just now, what do I get?
Yeah, Matthew isn't looking quite as good.
Not in particular. And you also just like played down a Noah, which I would like to be in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely am glad I won that die roll.
Yep. I will go ahead and grab Mary of Bethany.
All right.
She'll go to my hand. I'm going to.
Does that mean you have Lazarus already too then?
I mean, you could guess. I'm gonna actually play an Evil Woes. I'll target your storehouse.
Yep.
Then I will play my Mary down. And then I'll go to my rescue here. I will rescue with Martha. Make your reserve naval card from your hand.
Yep. Yeah, I think I go with Herod Philip II.
Okay. Shield band to Lazarus. I will convert Lazarus to negate evil cards. I'll draw 2. I'm not. I'll create a token there for you.
Thanks.
And then I will band to Mary.
Okay, so you're negating
That
evil
is my
cards, restricting evil dominance. And they're all CBN. Don't think there's much, so I'm actually just gonna give you the harvest token.
I'll come back here. I will lay down a Saul, and then that puts me at 8, so I'll pass.
Alrighty. Draw 3. No stars.
I'll just block with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play this guy. I'll band to him. I'll draw 4.
Yep.
And then I can take a card from my reserve. I will take Send the Helper.
Yep. Alright, so that puts you at
That is my risk.
7, 8.
7, 8. Yep.
Yeah, so she was a Ruth hero, and I could take out your 3 woes here, but I think I'm just gonna play it to negate your Abimelech.
Okay, so the band has gone away.
I guess it is mutual, so that was 7-2.
Yeah. I will plot to kill. I will negate and discard. Let's go with your god will be my god.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to play a good crowd's choice here.
Mm-hmm.
And not sure what I actually want, but we'll find something.
I mean, you have a pretty good selection in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try it out. All right. Royal Parade.
The Royal Parade.
Yeah. My initiative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will attempt to interrupt the battle and bounce your dudes.
Okay, so interrupt happens. Herdsman goes here, and now I'm being bounced.
Yeah, so I guess technically
I will be bounced.
Cool.
I will give you another token.
Well, thanks. So generous with your tokens.
Mm-hmm. Say that again, sorry.
I said you were so generous with your tokens.
Oh, yeah.
Put down a Infinidab. I will put down Herod's Guard. And play Clinging to Power. And I will let's do Herod Antipass for my reserve. Send that to the bottom. And I risk putting Antipass down. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, I'll pass the turn.
Okay, I will draw 3. That's my souls. I will give you this hopper.
Yay.
Because I don't have any stars. I will reveal the top 6 of my deck.
Sure you don't want any mine?
This guy comes out, and Strickland goes to my hand. The rest go to the bottom, which doesn't really matter. I'll use my escape to go to my deck. And I will grab my humble. Upkeep Rose Will. Tricky. Woes will go on hand.
It's not very nice. I like to draw cards.
Yeah, I know. Let's place down some artifacts. So the guard is the one that prevents.
Yep. Prevents the next good card.
I'll flip up 4 drachma, or not 4 drachma, send the helper.
Yep.
I'll bounce my guy.
Bounce the
I
Jazzy.
will play that again. I will play Patmos.
Mm-hmm.
And I will grab Angel from the Sun. I'll put my Humble and Patmos, which is, super great sight lock to the moon. I don't really know how I'm supposed to do this, but let's just find out. I will rescue with Angel from the Sun. Say that again?
Nothing, I was just, yeah, never mind, you're good.
Okay, I'll go to my reserve for Simon.
Mm-hmm.
I will convert Simon to choose. Let's go with Antipus.
Alrighty. I will take an evil NT card from. Let's check out your reserve.
Mm.
Not too many NT options, but
There's one pretty good one.
yeah, the other one's not terrible either, but I'll grab your RDJ. And I will ask for dominant initiative.
Sure.
I will make your Simon Brown.
Sure. Let's play down Judas. Let's play down this pilot that you know I have. And this Bimlick that you know I have. I will be selling for get my son to hold the trigger. I'll play Lord's Prayer as my one territory class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab New Covenant. I'll turn that over. This gets shuffled in. And then I will play the Deceiver, and I will pass the turn. Simon gets back up.
Ready?
Oh, send the helper still turned over.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Storehouse trigger on upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do your main.
Okay.
And I will activate that. I'll make a rescue with Noah. Now I have access to
Big
Humble.
man. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So just a guy. Sure. I will block with Saul, and I will take unsuccessful.
Yep.
Minus.
Yes.
I will negate your main because it's still a good card, right?
No, it's once it's an artifact, then it's a neutral card.
Is it still considered neutral?
It is only considered neutral right now.
Right. One, very smart. I guess I'll try reserving Noah.
Reserving Noah. Yeah, that will happen. And I will banish your remain. Add Infinidab to battle, and I will attempt to bounce Saul.
You bounce an evil card. Sure. I will play Tenants Kill the Sun. I will band to band to your Herod's Guard. I will not exchange because I don't play any Herods, I don't think. And I will discard a Infinidab.
Yep, that'll be good. Well played. Oops.
I will say, Tenants Kill the Sun is one of the most underrated enhancements.
Is it underrated? I feel like everybody's playing it.
I haven't played it.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again?
You were missing out if you hadn't played it.
Well,
yeah.
it's just like each game I've played during Lackey, I've gotten a block with it. So
yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, especially because the band comes before the discard, so it's like you can bring in a Herod's Guard or bring in a Nebuchadnezzar or something. I'm gonna grab a shield.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and put that down. Put down an Isaiah, and I will pass the turn.
And I will draw 3. I got some more souls.
Oh.
I will
surprising.
not use any stars.
Got Escape and Hunter in there, huh? Gotta get that Humble out.
I don't know which souls are good anymore.
you know a few of them that are good, and so you put in Escape and Hunter to go get those ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like it's almost the same muscles that I've been running for a while.
Sure.
And it's like the ones that I switch out are, prosperity, darkness, and stuff.
Mm.
Um, it's like, well, I don't want to play those right now.
Yeah.
Um, Upkeep woes will
You're not using Hunter.
go on. No, I
Okay.
only have the two targets in the deck.
Sure.
They're
Okay.
both out. Let's go with Hannah still.
Okay.
I will use Send the Helper. I'll bounce Simon.
Yep.
And then I will go to my rescue.
Mm-hmm.
I'll rescue Simon. I'll convert him to Meek. And I will, I'll just choose Antipus again.
Alrighty. There it is. I will go to my reserve for. I'll do Herod's Executioner. And then.
This one's the Protect one.
Um,
Yep.
is the equip and then protect. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And then I think. Or yeah, I guess that's my abilities resolving.
Lynch.
If you wanted to, I guess you do have a send the helper trigger.
So Send the Helper
Don't want you
triggers.
to forget again.
I'm not gonna forget this time. I will grab Baptism of Jesus, I guess.
Okay. My shield trigger, I will underdeck Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will trigger Shield's manually activated ability. Discard it, banishing Herod's treachery.
Okay.
What's up? And then I will add Herod's Executioner. I will equip from reserve foreign horses to Herod Antipas. And I will draw 2. And I will play this Romans Destroy Jerusalem that you so kindly lent to me. Fortunately, it hits my storehouse, but
Yeah, I should have just said something before you did that. That was my bad.
oh, to play a dominant or something.
I was just thinking on shipwreck, but
Oh,
yeah, because man, the thing about redemption, it's hard for like manual triggers. It's like it's so telegraphed. It's like, hey, am I good to do a manual trigger like before
yeah,
you play a dominant?
yeah. I guess I don't know if uh, because I mean we have like dominant initiative, which we usually ask about, but yeah, I guess the manual triggers aren't really. They're kind of at dominant speed, but like not quite. So I guess maybe should have asked for action priority. I don't know. To like,
Yeah, because it's the same as like playing down a character. It's like always dominish first, and then everything else.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Okay, so looking back at it, and I talked to Zach about it as well afterwards, and it seems like I did kind of mess up here based on what is in the it is actually in the REG under action priority of like looking at the different things that you have the ability to do kind of at dominant speed, including manually triggered abilities. You should, if you are not the active player, still ask about that, just like you would ask for like dominant initiative on the other player's turn. And so, perhaps a better way to do it is just to ask, like with the umbrella term of like, can I have action priority? And that will, basically just suggest to your opponent, like, okay, there's either a dominant or a manually triggered ability or activated ability, something like Shield in this case, where if you're going to make a play at dominant speed, you should do it now because otherwise I want to. And I think that that's an okay way. I mean, like, sure, you can still, um, kind of tell if they're or what they're going to do. It does kind of telegraph your play a little bit, but that's just kind of the nature of how that rule works. That I mean, it's still better than playing slapjack, in my opinion. Maybe not quite as fun, but it's better, especially on Lackey, where like abilities are resolving, and it's kind of you don't have the same cues as when you're face to face playing with physical cards, and so I think that that's a better way to do it moving forward. I don't. I think that that's what I should have done in this instance. Of it's sometimes I just kind of think like, okay, well, if I wait a little bit, that's and like he doesn't do anything. I guess like earlier or before he triggered send the helper, he was like, okay, my initiative, and so I was just kind of I assumed that he wasn't doing anything that was not correct of me to do, and so I should have waited. And clearly, this was a pretty big play that I was able to pull off here by using Sheol and being able to play Romans Destroy Jerusalem. And so, plays like that are certainly game changing, kind of taking out a one-sided offensive board wipe. And so I won't spoil whether or not that made a difference in this game, but it certainly could have, or could in the end. And like they're in any game, a play like that can make a big difference, and so it's good to be familiar with the with what action priority is and what it means to be the active player. Um, Clearly, I needed a little bit of a refresher on all of that because I always think like, okay, it was just dominant initiative. Like, what do you do with manually triggered abilities? Like, I can just kind of do those. Well, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to just do those, and so that is just something to be aware of. And I thought that I should mention at this point in the video where it just happened, and wanted to make sure you guys are following along correctly with how the game is playing out, and you can kind of think about it as you go throughout the rest of the video, like what kind of impact it would have had on the rest of the game, because obviously Zach would have had more offense, or would I have been able to pull off Romans Destroy Jerusalem at some point later on, who knows. So that's just something to note. Hopefully I didn't give away too much about the rest of the game, or maybe I gave away more than you actually needed to know. Or maybe you already know what the final score was anyways, and this doesn't really matter, but I'll get back to the video, sorry.
play down a meek Joanna. I'm gonna play my one territory class. I'm going to grab Crowd's Choice.
Mm-hmm.
Play down Reassuring Angels and Goliath, and I'll pass the turn.
Goliath. Okay, draw 3. Get my own hopper. Let's do the star undelivered to hit your top card. Matthew, nice, nice. We'll give you this hopper. Okay. Yeah, alright, I will play Numerous as the Stars as my 1 territory class. I will reveal Delivered, Duplicity, and Futile Inquisition. Go to discard for Infinidab, and I'll go to deck for. Let's do Elimelech and yeah, I guess I'll do Obed. And I will discard that. Play or activate David's Harp. I will take The Lord Goes Before You from reserve. And I will put down Obed, put down Aminadab. Yeah, I think I go that way. I'm going to rescue with Elijah, and I will choose Goliath to block. So Elijah gets kicked out. I will bring out Elimelech, who sadly his draw is negated. Where's a Bethlehem when you need it? But I will banish him to go to deck for, there he is, for David, convert him to Meek, grab Marriage Covenant, and I will, let's see, I'm a 1/8, so do I want to band here? No, I don't think I do. Yeah, my initiative.
I'll ask for Dominish.
Go for it.
Let's play good crowd's choice. Let's grab Son of God. Let's play that and the Second Coming to grab some souls here.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is your niche.
Yeah, I'm gonna play The Lord Goes Before You. I will choose Saul of Tarsus and Pontius Pilate to duke it out. So in Saul, I will draw 2. A Forsaken.
Unfortunately, Pontius can't exchange in the other battle.
Right. Then some initiative in this battle.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I will play Clinging to Power. Go to my deck. 4. Let's do Herod's Banquet. And we'll be cool if I could add it to battle, but unfortunately not. We'll underdeck the Clinging. And then yeah, why not? Well, I don't really want to give you initiative, I suppose. So yeah, I will just pass on Saul and let them banish the Lords Goes Before You and discard them. Okay. Then I will yeah, I think we'll just do this now. Let's do Marriage Covenant. Band in Isaiah. Band in Obed. Band in Infinidab. And Daniel. So Isaiah, I will not activate his star ability. Obed, I will draw 1 since he's CBN by Isaiah. Hey, look, it's a little bit late, but and then Aminadab will bounce Goliath, and Daniel will check out your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got an angel. Alright.
I will give you a Lawless.
Cool. Okay. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to use Numerous to go to reserve to grab Noah instead of Obed. Oh well. Suppose I don't necessarily need to shuffle in Marriage Covenant at this point. In fact, it's probably worse if I do. Let's put down Herodias' daughter. And put down Outsiders. And I will pass the turn.
Draw 3. I will not use any stars. Upkeep Woes will go on Hannah still.
Mm-hmm. I guess Obed is active, just, since he went in battle.
I will use Send the Helper and I'll advance my Joanna. That's happening for sure.
Obed is negating that, right?
Oh, wait. Yeah, because he entered battle.
Yep.
Yep, I will play down Herod's Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go to my rescue, if that's okay.
Yep.
I'll rescue with reassuring. I'll go to my discard pile. Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will convert him. And I will choose outsiders to block.
All right. And I do not have. I guess you do not have play advantage, so I will just draw one. Cool. I'm a
And then
1/1.
I will just angel.
Darn. It's like, I have initiative against
Angel.
Simon. That's so weird. um, I will give you the token.
Sweet. And I will pass the turn.
Alrighty. It's a Lawless and a Remnant and a Doll. There's all my lost souls and a Complacent. My goodness. Okay then.
Complacent.
Mm-hmm. Getting tricky over here. Okay. I don't think we need to do any stars. I think I will use Lawless on myself. Let's see, you can do this, right? Yeah. Shipwreck, probably don't need, so I guess we'll grab Kingdoms. Send the rest to the bottom. And let's put down Kingdoms. Well,
I'll ask for Dominish now, I guess.
sure.
I'll just shipwreck it.
Yep.
Might as well.
Oh, right. My Remnant. Kind of forgot about that. Oh well. Let's do David's Harp to shuffle your Deceiver. Yeah, I guess I will flip up Book of the Law. And who do I want to bounce? There's so many decent options here. I think the answer is I will bounce your herdsman, I suppose. And yeah, then I will make a rescue with David.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't block from my hand.
I mean, you could.
Banding. Does banding count as blocking your hand?
Um,
If I
I
like Abimelech band to herdsman.
I believe so, but I suppose that would be a good thing to double check.
Okay.
Block. Evil character blocks if the character enters battle under the control of the defending player and the battle is begun by a hero. So, yeah, I guess.
Sweet. I will block with Abimelech. I will play a Genesis Philistine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Armor Bear. Oh, wait, no, he's the first Samuel one.
Yep.
Never mind. Failed to find.
Okay. Not banning.
And I will not ban, surprisingly.
Darn. Okay, I will trigger David's Harp to draw one. And I will, I guess, just play Reprimand to negate my Complacent, not withdrawing. And then I'll play Angel.
Sure. Have your hopper back.
Hooray. Then I will, after battle, play Second Coming to go grab my Son of God.
Good one.
Good game. Top card. I was like, if I didn't see it with the Lawless, then...
Was it the next card?
Yep. If I didn't see it with the Lawless, then I was like, all right, well, if I just don't shuffle, like leave it on top, then I thought about bouncing my Hannah, but then I was like, well, I don't think he had that many Evil Brigades in hand, so wouldn't really help me quite as much.
No, I just have the 2.
Yeah, which I guess would have been enough.
Successful, which you know both.
But then you would have been able to block with Herdsman and get a draw 2 as well. And so yeah, the other thing I was thinking of doing was...
Yeah, I don't think the draw 2 would have mattered, no.
Yeah, so I could have also done 3 woes before battle to negate my Complacent, but I feel like that would have telegraphed my play significantly, which, I don't know, maybe it would have been fine. Cause
I mean, I knew that's what you were going to do.
Yeah.
I was surprised that you're playing the Reprimand, but I thought you were going to find a way to draw or search, which, I mean, Book of the Law.
Yeah, I didn't really
You could have also just angeled outside of battle, and then so I didn't have any evil characters in territory.
Right, yeah. I mean,
so I'd have to block.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you could search, and then just wait until after battle.
Yeah, what I really should have done was use my Remnant to take one of them. Take your Abimelech and then bounce your Herdsman, but I forgot to trigger it. But
oh yeah.
Anyways,
that would have done it.
Well, I think we got most of the game at least recorded, and hopefully I can piece together the last, or the bits that didn't get recorded. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like part of a turn.
Yeah.
So should be fine.
Yep. Alrighty.
Sweet.
We'll catch you later.
Well, have a good rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Yep. See you later. Bye.
And thank you to all of you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. It was a pretty back and forth one that Romans Destroy Jerusalem really did put in some work. And I thought about during the side battle actually playing or putting in my Heir to Antipas to grab my Romans Destroy Jerusalem, take out his Joanna and his Pontius Pilate, or his Joanna and his Reassuring Angels, since it would have been difficult for him to get a rescue without choosing the blocker, I think. I mean, because I would be able to band with Executioner, but I also would have lost my Heir to Antipas, so I don't know. I suppose maybe I wouldn't have had anyone to band to with Executioner, but anyways, yeah, good game. Thanks y'all for watching. We'll catch you next time.